3-star hotels exempted from tourism tax. Malaysia looks to West Asia in a bid to counter Daesh threat. A very good afternoon and welcome to News on 2. I'm ADRIAN SEET. Dato Sri Muhammad Nazri Abdul Aziz says Malaysians who stay in 3-star hotels and resorts will not need to pay the tourism tax. He explained the exemption was made in line with efforts to promote domestic tourism.
Orang kita pun kalau dia, saya sebut tadi lah, kalau dia bercuti, dia pergi ke 5-star, ke 4-star, dia memang ada duit lah. So, memang di Malaysia ni kalau orang ada duit, dia bayar cukai lebih. Kan? Betul tak? Jadi, kalau orang yang berduit, duduk 5-star, 4-star, dia ada berduit, bayarlah sikit. Tapi yang 3-star below ni, kita kecualikan.
Dato Sri Muhammad Nazri added that the exemption would also be given to foreign tourists who have already made their room bookings via travel agencies for the period until March 31st, 2018. The tourism tax, which was previously scheduled to be enforced beginning July the 1st, was postponed to August the 1st to ensure that all parties, particularly the Customs Department, are fully prepared once it is implemented. The tax rate ranges between 2 ringgit and 50 cents to 20 ringgit according to the facilities provided. Tourism tax will be collected by the Customs Department. Malaysia will study the mechanism and proactive action appropriate to address the growing threat of Daesh militants with some West Asian countries. Defence Minister Dato Sri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein said the partnership will be implemented through his official visit to Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain next week, seeing as those countries are more experienced in handling the Daesh in Iraq and Syria. Dato Sri Hishamuddin said it is important for Malaysia to learn and understand how these countries are dealing with the Daesh threat in both Iraq and Syria and share intelligence information. In conjunction with the visit, Dato Sri Hishamuddin added that he will also meet the King of Saudi Arabia, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, to discuss the matters in detail. He told a press conference after officiating the complex Mutiara Perbadanan Perwira Niaga Malaysia, or Pernama, at Subang Air Base. He also witnessed the handing over of the 2016 dividend amounting to 55 million ringgit from Pernama to the Armed Forces Fund Board and an annual contribution of 500,000 ringgit to the Armed Forces Welfare Fund. The investigation into the downing of flight MH17 over eastern Ukraine 3 years ago is expected to be completed early next year. Currently, the scope of the investigation has been narrowed down to 100 suspects. Attorney General Tan Sri Muhammad Apandi Ali will represent Malaysia at the trial proceedings in the Netherlands as the investigation sees conclusion. According to Transport Minister Dato Sri Liao Tiong Lai, the victims' next of kins will be briefed on the latest developments related to the prosecution of the suspects on July the 13th at the Marriott Hotel in Putrajaya. He said the government is firm on its stance, adding that justice must be upheld and suspects responsible should be brought to court.
Malaysia bersetuju dengan Netherlands, Belgium, Australia untuk dan Ukraine, 5 negara kita untuk menubuhkan National Prosecution Center di Netherlands. Oleh itu, the criminal investigation sedang berjalan.
Dato Sri Liao was speaking to reporters after officiating the opening of a Renaissance Electronics Global Distribution Center in Sepang, Selangor. The Women, Family and Community Development Ministry has sent a team of counsellors to provide counselling to family members of the 2 children in Serian who died of rabies infection on Tuesday. Its Minister Dato Sri Rohani Abdul Karim said the team consists of officers from the Kuching Community Welfare Department.
My part is untuk satu to give counselling to the family yang traumatik hilang 2 anak sekali, and then kedua is to wawarkan bahawa this is it can be an epidemic kalau kita tak contain, and then to beware of this type of animal. Salam sejahtera, salam sehat.
She said this at an Idul Fitri celebration at the Berjaya Times Square Hotel, where 80 orphans received donations and new Raya clothes. UMNO President Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak has called on all party members taking part in the UMNO Divisional Delegates meeting today to close ranks to achieve the objectives of the party's struggles. Now, the Premier, via his Facebook and Twitter posts, also reminded the delegates to grab the opportunity from the meeting to rise together in detailing preparations by the party machinery and to outline the strategy to face the 14th general election. The UMNO Divisional Delegates meetings begin today until August 26th throughout the country. Then the meetings are held after the UMNO branch meetings held from last March 17th until April 30th. Now, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, or MACC, has hailed the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, or MMEA, as the cleanest government agency with zero corruption. MACC Deputy Chief Commissioner of Management and Professionalism, Datuk Sri Muhammad Jamidan Abdullah, said MMEA officers are always willing to report any bribery attempts to the MACC. Datuk Sri Muhammad Jamidan said MACC has rewarded the MMEA officers for their commitment in fighting corruption. However, he declined to reveal the number of MMEA officers involved or the total number of government enforcement officers that have reported bribery attempts to the MACC.
Beberapa orang pegawai APMM yang banyak kita kata yang tampil ke hadapan untuk melaporkan soal tawaran rasuah, dan ada yang kita kata berulang kali mereka di-offer oleh untuk tawaran rasuah, tapi mereka masih tetap dengan melaporkan diri kepada SPRM. Oleh kerana itulah dia banyak dapatkan reward.
MMEA Director General Maritime Admiral Datuk Zulkifli Abu Bakar reiterated that he has zero tolerance towards corruption, adding that preventive measures have been taken to ensure that the MMEA remain clean. He said this after signing his department's corruption-free pledge with MACC in Putrajaya today. Police arrested 34 guest relations officers, or GROs, which included Chinese and Vietnamese women, in Ops Noda raids held at two entertainment outlets in Georgetown, Pulau Pinang yesterday. State CID Chief SAC Zainal Samah said all suspects aged between 20 and 35 were arrested for not having valid permits and travel documents. During the 4-hour operation, which began at midnight, 3 local men who managed the premises were also arrested. Other items seized by police during the raids were 3 walkie-talkies, receipts and 20 room rental records at the hotel believed to be used by GROs and its customers. A total of 1,571 ringgit cash was also seized. All female suspects were taken to the Timur Laut District Police Headquarters for documentation before they were handed over to Immigration Department for further action. Over 1,500 vehicles have disappeared since last Ramadan in a scam involving a vehicle leasing company. Now, the company is owned by a businessman known as Raja and an individual who calls himself Datuk Sri Kabi. The case was uncovered when the Malaysian Muslim Consumers Association, or PPIM, received several complaints from victims who were defrauded by the company. 2 of the 500 victims were present to explain the modus operandi of the syndicate in swindling the victims. Now, to date, the company has remained silent when victims attempted to contact them and did not respond to any cancellation of agreement letters. Most of the victims have also been blacklisted by the bank and received several summonses due to outstanding payments. PPIM Special Action Unit Director Yusuf Azmi claimed that the victims do not hope for profits but are desperate due to issues of debt burden. Now, the issue of the lack of blood supply, particularly type O blood, at the Malacca Hospital during the recent Hari Raya Aidilfitri celebrations was successfully managed with the help of the community. The Malacca Hospital Blood Bank Unit managed to collect about 700 bags of blood and 300 to 400 bags of type O blood. Now, according to the head of the blood bank unit, Dr. Nur Amiza Mat Amin, the unit received approximately 100 to 150 donors each day since last week.
Daripada respon dan kesedaran orang ramai terhadap keperluan darah ni adalah amat baik. Cuma kita mengharapkan ianya bukanlah setakat respon kepada keadaan yang kritikal, tapi kita mengharapkan sokongan dan sumbangan yang berterusan.
Dr. Nur Amiza added that the blood supply has stabilized and will be able to accommodate the people's needs with approximately 80 bags of blood across the country daily.